You were there? Oh, really? By the way, I love how it's advocating violence if you clap when a guy punches a guy who was murdering an old man. She should have just sat there and took it, like Jesus Christ.
You can make me small. I just want to interject quickly there. So that was someone who was there at the fight, and I was talking about how after Night of Freedom, Antifa was waiting outside. They were talking about killing my kids and killing Mike Cernovich's kids. They were saying bringing their kids down. Jack Posobiec recorded it all. Anyway, that guy that I was talking about, he went out there, and he walks by, and this Antifa guy grabs him, punches him, hits him down. He hits his head on the concrete as he falls down and starts having a heart attack. Then the Antifa guy starts strangling him as he has a heart attack. Cops come to get the guy. He starts beating up the cops. And that guy in the audience was saying, no, I was there. And I was trying to help the cops separate these two, get that guy off of him, and aid in, stopping the assault. By the way, that barely made it to the media, and when it did, it was just like protesters scuffle. It wasn't Antifa attacks old man the way when they report on our things, it's like hate group goes roaming the streets looking for violence. I'm watching this, but I'm also on my email. I just got someone at the Gothamist saying, I hear you guys were looking for violence all night. Do you have a comment? And I said to him, 3 days, 4 days of threats and bottles of urine and robbing citizen journalists. You don't see that someone determined for a fight. You don't see when the guy who was actually beat up at the end of the night, I saw him at the beginning of the night. That was 6:20 when I saw him. The fight was at about 9:30 or 10. That's hours and hours and hours of someone waiting. He had gloves on that had plastic things on the knuckles, ready to fight. That's someone out for violence, but somehow, I guess because they are all part of the same disgusting mess, Antifa can behave badly and the DNC can make them into victims. Unbelievable. All right, go back to it.
Punch that guy, they got a heart attack, and then the Antifa dude put the cops in a headlock. Like the cop's gonna go, all right. God, I didn't know you were that mad. Tap out. That kid could be facing 16 years. But the rhetoric and the lack of free speech and lack of discussion dehumanizes people until they don't think they're killing some old dude who is leaving a thing. They think they're killing Hitler as a baby in his crib. And there's definitely an argument for Hitler as a baby in his crib, but that's not Hitler. And I've talked to these people and I said, can I get you on my show or can we discuss this? I don't understand. I don't even know what the you want. And they go, sorry, genocide doesn't deserve a debate. I'm not Pol Pot. I bet even with Pol Pot, he would go, I'm going to be killing a lot of people. And his side guys were like, are you out of your f***ing mind? You're going to start killing everyone? Like, I bet even the people surrounding Stalin and Mao and Hitler and Pol Pot and all these genocidal maniacs, I bet some of them are going, wait, you're serious? And by the way, they were all socialists.
I sort of realized that very recently, and I'm sorry to sort of stop the tape, but we keep getting that you guys you want to promote genocide, and genocide has no debate here, and you want to kill people. And ironically, the other thing they talk about is white genocide, and they say you're just scared because your population is dwindling or something like that. But my argument is there's only been about 7 leaders in history who have committed genocide, so it's already esoteric as far as the entire history of the world. You got Pol Pot and Hitler and Stalin and blah, blah, blah. And then you look at them and you go, you're all either socialists or communists. So how does this mentality, this socialist mentality, not have more stigma around it? And yeah, that includes Hitler, the National Socialist. Sorry, go ahead.
The socialists are taking root in America, and that mentality dehumanizes people until they are disposable. The reason genocide is in their vocabulary, and they bring it up with you even though you've never said it once in your life, is because it's in their vocabulary. And we've seen it with Stalin, 30 million. We've seen it with Mao, 70 million. We've seen it with that socialist Hitler with 6 million. We keep seeing these socialists play God. And God laid this out for us. He said, I've designed you perfectly. Just open the gates, do whatever you want, you'll be fine. Kill murderers, obviously, and pedophiles. But don't tell other people how to live. I've made you great. But when you have these despots, these dictators who say, no, I'm going to tell people how to live, I'm going to play God, millions of people die. So I'll close with saying what I always say, which is politics is two groups of people. People who want to be left alone and people who want to leave them the f*** alone. Why do those socialists with the curiously mass-produced signs outside, isn't that kind of weird? How all the signs look the same? And then they go, I didn't get my Soros check. Yeah, they don't trickle down to you, dummy. They stay with the sign producers. They're two echelons up. It's curious that we criticize socialism and then socialist Democrats have these perfectly made signs, but those are the people who won't leave us the f*** alone. We're having a talk here. What are we doing? It's an idea. Lauren Southern is banned from England for what? The words that come out of her mouth? It's not X-Men. They're not fire. They can't kill you. It's a little blonde woman with an insane ass. A day ruiner, if you will. The kind of ass that should be in a burqa, ironically. But this fight, World War II, World War I, we've been fighting socialism and communism forever. I don't understand why. I honestly don't. I guess because it's a good sell if you're incurious and illiterate and someone says everyone gets everything and you go, that sounds good. But how low is your IQ to go, I get a thing? I like that thing. No, you don't get a thing. You don't get a Porsche. After the revolution, I've seen on their chat rooms, like, after the revolution, I'd like to design uniforms for the Red Guard. Yeah, so would I. Sounds cool. I'd put like a gun in your sleeve. Infrared things on your hat that just go shoo. That's what 12-year-old boys do when they draw. They make cool killing uniforms. So, we want to be revolutionary. We want to anger those people outside. They think this is the KKK. They think this is Nazis to have a talk about traditional values and consider them. By the way, these are not dictums. I'm not Mao. When I say most women would be happier at home, or maybe learn a trade, or we should support free speech, or the Second Amendment is an integral part of this country, these are my ideas. I'm not enforcing them upon anyone. You can take them or leave them. And what these people outside...
That's kind of a typo. When I say most women would be happier at home, that's not a dictum. The First Amendment and the Second Amendment are dictums. They are in the Constitution. It's not me just suggesting that you should have free speech in the country. I guess what I was trying to say there, this is fun when you do a speech and you get to watch it and then add notes. This is a footnote here. You should absolutely have the free speech. That's not my opinion. That's the law. You should actually absolutely have the Second Amendment. That's not my opinion. That's the law. What I'm saying there is if you want to censor yourself or you don't want to say this or you don't want to go to this, then you shouldn't have to. And if you don't want a gun, you shouldn't have to have a gun. But I do believe that New York City's gun laws, for example, are unconstitutional. So I should have just kept that with the opinions and not the things that are actual laws. Although, when you look at a lot of big cities in America, it doesn't look like they're following the Second Amendment. And clearly, as we've learned from this venue and the reaction that it's getting in the media, we're not following the First Amendment either.
What these communists want to do is prevent you from taking them. Now, if you don't want someone to take something, that's because you want to give it to them. You want to handle their thought process. You want to handle their beliefs. Well, I'm sorry. We tried that. It didn't work. We kicked out the British. We killed the Nazis. We built the greatest country in the world. America does not need a reboot. We're not starting over again. You can come along for the ride or get the f*** off the road. God bless USA. And God bless Otoya Yamaguchi.
So, as we were watching that, I'm checking the news flood in, and according to Newsweek, Trump-supporting Proud Boys group will be investigated by New York Hate Crimes Unit after violence in Manhattan. I don't see how they could, I guess they could isolate that fight at the end and they could say the bad word was some sort of a hate crime, but this is even, that would just be like a bar fight. But this is even sillier than a bar fight because it's someone who'd been flanking you all night. But who knows? I've seen injustice happen plenty of times. So maybe they're going to jail, maybe I'm going to jail, maybe everyone's going to jail for what you just saw. That incited violence, according to the alt-left, and made them victims. They are in a situation now in America with the deep state and the media where they can target someone for days and then when they finally get bopped in the nose, pretend to be the victims. I'm stunned. And I guess the moral of the whole thing is when you get in a situation like that, just say, get off my lawn.